Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about sublimation on wallets, and I actually have 3 different types of wallets for you, and I'm going to show you how to sublimate on each of those. Now you can use the blanks that I'm showing, or there are other sublimation wallet blanks on the market and you can try those as well. So the first is a large wallet, has a flap on the front you can sublimate. You open it up, zipper pouch, all the pouches for your credit cards, that type of thing. Second one, a little bit smaller, but again, sublimation panel on the front, folds open, and then you have the pockets as well as the credit card slots on it. Then the third option, I thought I would do one of these that you attach to like the back of your phone case and then just slide your cards into the little pouch, the little wallet type of thing. So this one you would apply adhesive to the back, attach it to the back of your phone case. But it has an area that you can sublimate on the front. Now, which of these you choose, totally up to you, but let's take a look at the supplies we're going to use, as well as sublimating on all 3 versions of these sublimation wallets. Here are the supplies you're going to use for this project. So you will need, of course, your sublimation wallet. I mentioned I'm going to do a few different types. So there is this larger type, opens up, has a Velcro closure, and has pockets on the inside, and we're going to sublimate this white area on the front. This wallet is one that is folded, has pockets on the inside, and we're going to sublimate on this front surface, the white surface only. The back is black. And then I wanted to do an alternative, and this is something you would stick like to the back of your phone case, and when you can sublimate on this white portion, it comes with the adhesive to put on the back to stick to your phone case. So now we have our wallets. We are going to use heat-resistant tape, a lint roller, protective paper. I do have a heat-resistant mat. I don't like the Easy Press mat for this. It just gives too much for me. So I'm going to use this heat-resistant mat from Artistry because it's a little firmer. And I am going to use my Easy Press for this one. You can use any heat press you would like. Then you might need some scissors, heat-resistant gloves, and then you will need your sublimation prints. So this is sublimation ink printed on sublimation paper from a sublimation printer. And I have a few templates for you. So you can use a template. You don't have to use a template, but I am going to show you the templates themselves in Canva. And I will have a link below for you to get access to the templates so that if you wanted to use the templates that I've created for these specific wallets, or you could even resize the template if you get a wallet of a different size, resize those templates, and I will show you how to do that as well. And you can use those to print your wallet designs. So these are kind of like collage, if you want to make a collage of photos. If you just want to make the entire thing a photo, you probably don't need a template. But if you wanted to make a collage like some of the ones that I have here, then you might want to use the templates that I have. So let's head to Canva first of all and see how to use the templates to create a collage that will then print out and sublimate onto our wallets. When you first click the link for the template, you're going to get something that looks a little like this. It is just asking if you want to make a copy of the template to use. So we're going to say use template, click the button, and it will make a copy and add it to your Canva account. Now, if you are not signed into Canva at some point in this process, it may ask you to sign in. Now you have a copy of this template in your Canva account. The first 2 pages are for the larger wallet to sublimate the front of those. The last page is for that smaller bifold wallet to do the front of those. So when you open this up, you'll see a background as well as some images that kind of have a cloud in them. The frames that have a cloud in them are the ones that you can replace with your own photos. So I would click uploads, and you could go ahead and upload any files that you want to use on your sublimation wallets. I have a few uploaded here, and you can drag and drop those images into the frames. Now sometimes when you drag and drop, the picture may look great just as it is. Other times perhaps you drag and drop and you don't like the way the image looks. You can double click and then it opens up some editing features. So I can pull on these corners at this point and I can make the photo bigger. I can click the photo and move it around within the frame. I could rotate the photo if I wanted to rotate it. You can even type a custom number in here for the rotation. When I'm happy with the look of the photo in the frame, I would just go ahead and click done. Now you can see I've altered the photo in the frame and it looks really good. Now say this picture, it looks a little dark. I can double click that photo, go over here to adjust, and I can start adjusting the brightness of the photo, the contrast, the highlights, the vibrance, various things I can go ahead and adjust right in Canva and get it to where I like the look of the photo itself. So I went ahead, played around with a few photos and added them to this template. The same thing can be done for these other templates. So for this one, I would just drag and drop my photos into the stars. Again, I could double click and adjust the photos as needed. The same thing can be done here with these templates. So the D, A, and the D, you can see they have the cloud on them. That means that they can be filled with photos. So I can go ahead and drop a photo into the letter. Now in this case, the letters cannot be changed because they are frames. So you can't spell a different word. So I was kind of thinking about this one as a Father's Day project, and it would be something that would be a really cute gift idea. So we can just go ahead and finish dragging and dropping a few photos. This version has sort of a rustic edge around it, and it'll make your photos look sort of like an old photo strip. So I'm going to go ahead and use a photo here that I want to rotate. When we rotate that -90 degrees, you can see now we have the whole photo on there. Now I did want to caution you a little bit that these templates are a little oversized. So you might want to locate your photo a little down in this one and a little over to the right in this case, just because the edge of this is designed to hang off of your wallet. So you would want to adjust your photos, especially for this version of the template. And on this version of the template, there is some text. You can actually click this text and we could type whatever we wanted here. So you could type a name, you could type whatever you would like into this area. I'm gonna leave it as Best Dad Ever. If you don't like this blue background, you could also change it as well. So you could go to photos in this case and say, I liked this blue background better. I could drag it over and drop it right into the background and make a whole new photo. So let's go ahead and copy this one and bring it down here. What if I wanted my entire wallet to be a photo? I could use this to drag and drop my image in. So now you can see that the entire thing is now an image, don't have any of those photo frames, and I could add that to my wallet as well. So you don't just have to add something just with small photos and shapes like this. You can make the entire wallet a photo with these techniques. And I have left some room down here if you want to do that. However, let's just say I want to make one wallet. I don't want to make all of these wallets. You can pick any of these and just hit the trash can here to delete it. So I could pick any of these and just delete them. So let's say I wanted to delete this one, pick the whole thing and click delete. You can also resize. So say you did not buy the exact same wallets that I did and you wanted to resize these. The corners resize this way. The sides crop in. And you can see the width and height as I'm resizing. So you could size it to where it would fit your wallet. Now I would make it where it overhangs just a little bit for error. That's just my personal preference, but you could do it however you would like. And then if you only wanted to make, say, one wallet and you wanted to delete this template, you could click the trash can on the entire page and the entire page will go away. So now let's say we are ready to print. We're gonna make these two wallets. They are the right size. We're gonna go ahead and go to the share button and we're going to click download. I suggest using a PNG file type and I want to download all pages in this case. If I did not, if I just wanted that first page, I could just check the page 1 button here and click done. But let's go back and let's do all pages so I can show you what happens. And we're gonna go ahead and click download. When you download all pages, it does download as a zip file. So you can see that in the corner here. So you would need to unzip that and extract those ping files that are in that file. And then you would just print the files just like you normally do to your Sublimation printer. So whatever program you use to normally print to your printer, I would use that at this time. I am going to use my Sawgrass printer and Sawgrass Print Manager, but I would use whatever program you usually print to your printer to print these. Be sure that any printer that you use is set to keep the sizes the same. So you want the size set to 100% because you've worked really hard here to get these the correct size for your wallets, and you don't want to mess that up when you're printing them. So now let's take a look at the printed files and how to sublimate those onto a wallet. We're going to start with this largest wallet. Now you want to open this up. You only want to heat this white portion. So the black portion here, I'm going to leave it hanging out and try to stop my Easy Press near this line so that it does not heat too much of the wallet. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover my heat resistant mat with some protective paper. And I'm going to go ahead and lint roll this surface to remove any debris. And then we do want to pre-press for about 10 seconds. I am going to cover the entire thing with some protective paper. And this is just to protect the rest of the wallet from the heat. But we only need to preheat that white area. So about 10 seconds. And the temperature is 400 degrees. And we're going to be doing this press for 50 seconds. So we do want to make sure this cools off before we add our sublimation print. Then I have my sublimation print ready. Remember, open this wallet. And then I just want to locate the wallet itself over those images. Now the wallet does have these corners here and it will cut off part of my picture, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to use tape on the back. So I'm going to tape the back to the sublimation print. And the only thing I'm going to be careful about is getting this as straight as possible. Otherwise, the overhang is fine with me. And the overhang on this side will go onto the black. I will show you some tricks on the one with the brown to sort of mask the area. For this one, I am going to leave it as is so we can see if we can see any of that on the black itself. So now we've located this, we're going to flip it over. We're going to add protective paper to the top, and then we're going to press 400 degrees, 50 seconds, just on the white portion of the wallet. Now, if you are struggling with finding it, Easy Press or Heat Press does not matter. A lot of times what I do is I'm going to bend this down and I'm just going to cut along that bend. This gives me a guide of where to stop my Easy Press or Heat Press either way. So if this isn't a traditional heat press, you would want to leave this portion hanging out of the press itself. Now we're going to cover this up. We're going to press 400 degrees, 50 seconds, and now we have that guide as to where to stop our press. Once this is done, we'll just lift the press up. And now we can peel back the protective paper first. And then I've let this cool just a few minutes as I put my gloves on and just got ready. And now we can peel this back. You can see those adorable photos on the front of this wallet. Now we'll just remove the pieces of tape. And they did not hurt the back of this wallet at all, like it is fine. So tape on this one would be fine. And then I can't see anything with an overhang in that black, so I'm fine with that. So I think this looks amazing, and none of the pieces in here are melted because of course we had these outside of our press. So now we can just close this up and we have a custom wallet with several photos that is ready for gift giving. So these wallets did call for a light pressure. So I experimented with the pressure a bit. So this is 400 degrees, 50 seconds. This is just like a light to medium pressure. If I did a heavy pressure instead, I got a much better result. More vibrant colors. This is still 400 degrees, 50 seconds, but I really pressed down with the Easy Press. So I would say to do heavy pressure on these wallets to get the best results possible. Now you could have luck with light to medium pressure. Some designs might look okay, but this particular design, because I wanted it to be like this deep, dark blue, did way better with heavy pressure. I was still able to use the Easy Press. I just pressed down really hard to get this look. If you're using a heat press, it might be a little bit easier. So let's move on to the next wallet type. So next up, we're going to be using this wallet. Again, I've opened it up so that we're just going to be pressing on this side. And first, you want to preheat it. This one is very similar to the wallet we just did. However, it does call 400 degrees, 50 seconds, heavy pressure. And that kind of gave me the idea of doing the heavy pressure on the other one. So I preheated 10 seconds or so, and then we'll let this cool. And you can go ahead and lint roll while the wallet itself cools off. And then I do have several designs, and I'm going to do one for a demonstration, and then I'll show you a few more that I made. So we do want to let this cool off before we add our sublimation print. So next I have the sublimation print. The design is mirrored, and now I want to add it to the wallet itself. So I like to lay the print down and then just sort of use the wallet to locate your design. Then once it's located, we'll just use tape, and we're going to tape from the back onto that sublimation print in a few different areas. Now, I did not make this sublimation print a ton larger, so it might hang over even more than you want, but that's okay. It can just stick to the protective paper here when we turn it over. So we'll add tape in several places, and then we're just gonna peel it up. We'll place it sublimation print side up, and again, my sublimation print ends about where the sublimation on the wallet ends, so I'm going to use that as a guide for my easy press. And then we'll just cover that with protective paper. Then we're just going to add the easy press, 400 degrees, 50 seconds, heavy pressure. Then once the time's up, we'll just lift that up. Then we can lift the protective paper, and then you just want to remove your design. Now you can let this cool a little bit if you would like. You can see that the sublimation on this looks amazing, and I love this design with those photo frames that spell Dad. And again, nothing melted on this one on the inside, so all the pockets are fine, and this wallet is ready to give to Dad. Here are the 3 designs that I've made. So I will say that this one was a bit easier to make, I think because the surface was smaller, so it was easier to get an even heavy pressure. This was the one I made on camera. Here's another version with a different template. And then finally I made one with just a picture so you can see what that looks like. Now I will caution you on all of these, make sure your image is not upside down. So you would probably want the pockets to be facing up when you close it here. And I did that wrong on some. So just to note that. So I would make sure everything's in their correct location before you actually sublimate. But otherwise, I love the way all of these turned out. Finally, we have this version that you put on your phone case. Now, I have not attached the adhesive to the back, so the back is just plain. And we're gonna sublimate on this front area. So the first thing we wanna do is to pre-press, just like always. So I'm gonna pre-press this about 10 seconds. Then while that cools, we can go ahead and let roll it off. Now I'm going to do these 2 different ways. The first way is if I just have white at the top up here. So I just have a logo that I'm going to put approximately in the center of this white area, and I don't have anything that would overhang onto the brown. We're going to go over what you need to do if you have something that hangs over to the brown in a minute, because you can get sublimation ink on this brown area. So once this is cool, we'll go ahead and locate this design. Now, you do not need to tape onto this. I am going to tape onto the back because I don't care about the back. Remember, this adhesive, it's gonna cover the entire back, so I'm not worried what the back looks like. You could use an adhesive spray for this, so you don't have to use tape at all, but I'm gonna do it with some tape so you can see how that works. So first we're gonna add the logo to approximately the center of that white area. And once I have it in the center, I'm gonna add tape just to the back portion in just about 4 areas. And I purposefully made my sublimation print larger than the blank. That way I don't get any kind of press marks or tape marks on the front. So we're gonna flip this over, add protective paper, and now we're ready to press. Now this one is 375 degrees, 50 seconds, and it does call for light pressure. So we'll just set the easy press down, 375, 50 seconds, and I am gonna press down, so light to medium pressure. If it has not cooled, your tape can stick to this back. This one is not horrible, so I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling this even though it's still a little warm. Now we'll just take a look at that cute logo, and now I can let this cool, just add that adhesive to the back, and I have a cute wallet that I can add to the back of my phone case. So now let's take a look if we want to sublimate something and it might get on this brown area. What will we do? So we're going to start off in the same way. Preheat about 10 seconds. Remove the protective paper and lint roll while it cools. And then what we're going to need to do is to protect this brown area. You can use some heat tape for that, but the easiest thing to do is going to be to cover a large area with something like your protective paper. So I cut a large piece of protective paper and I'm going to put it down inside the wallet. And you can do this as it cools. And now we just have the brown on the sides here. And what I would do is add heat tape and just be sure that all of that brown area is covered up. We'll go ahead and go around the outside. And then if there's anything you see at this point that looks like it may not be covered, go ahead and cover it with heat tape. So you want every single bit of that brown covered so that none of that sublimation ink gets onto this brown area. So I have some that's just covered with the paper and some with tape, so we can kind of see the difference. So I kind of trimmed the sublimation print on 3 sides, leaving a large white area at the top here. Now when this goes over this, a portion of this block will be in this area here. That's why we added the protective paper as well as the tape. Now I could have printed a larger block, but I didn't want to waste sublimation ink. So now we can just add this to our area here. Once it's located and everything's covered, then we can tape down the wallet itself to the sublimation print. And then we'll flip it over, sublimation print on top, cover with protective paper, and press the same. So 375, 50 seconds, light to medium pressure. So we'll just add our easy press and start pressing. And when that's done, we'll lift that up. Again, you might want to let this cool before you peel this back. We'll go ahead and try to peel it back and see what happens. You can see my sublimation print looks gorgeous on that white area. You can also see close up that the sublimation print got on my protective paper as well as my tape. That is covering up that brown area. So let's remove that and see how it looks underneath there. So I'm just going to remove this tape, protective paper, and everything is perfect. So both the protective paper as well as the tape protected that brown area. So you can use either or a combination of both, as I've done, to protect that brown area when sublimating. And now, once again, allow this to cool, add the adhesive to the back, and then you can put this right on your phone case for a cute wallet idea. So both of these sublimated really well, and I'm super impressed with these. These almost have like a faux leather feel to them. So they're probably my favorite of the sublimation wallets, but all 3 of these are really fun and make great gift ideas. And I did a floral pattern on this, a logo on this, but you could definitely add photos to these as well, or even use infusible ink with all 3 of these sublimation blanks. So now all that's left for you to do is to pick your favorite. And like I said, I think my favorite would be the back of the phone case version, but all of these are super cute and each of them makes a great gift. So if you know someone that likes this style of wallet, you can customize it with photos, any kind of graphics, floral patterns, whatever, what have you, to make them this style. Or you want to make a Father's Day gift, I gave you a few options for that, just plain pictures. And I showed you how to use those templates in Canva to get your pictures into a shape or add text. Makes a fun gift idea. And then of course, my favorite little one that goes on the back of your phone case. And again, I added a logo as well as a floral pattern to this. And I do have the floral pattern for free, so I will, in the description below this video, give you a link to the floral pattern for this wallet. as well as the templates that I used to create the other wallet design. That way you can grab those freebies and use them to make wallets or anything else. So hopefully this helps you, and now you know how to make sublimation wallets. Drop down in the comment section, ask any questions you have, or tell me your favorite wallet design. If you liked this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.